Vinland Saga is absolutely killing it in terms of its reception and performance, and it's a long awaited second season, and the hype is much deserved. Now, obviously, as someone that is active in the anime community, I've seen my fair share of bad takes. Recently, I watched Triggered Senpai's video concerning the Vinland Saga story, and I disagree with a lot of it. Do not send any hate his way. He expressed his opinion, but saying that Vinland Saga is boring and that it sucks is pretty inaccurate. A lot of Triggered's gripes with the show comes with the character of Thorfinn, and saying that Thorfinn is a one-dimensional character is kind of but I digress. Honestly, Vinland Saga has become one of my favorite anime out in recent memory for a plethora of reasons. Still, I definitely think that a lot of people are missing out on some extremely big life lessons that the series is throwing our way. Seriously, go watch Vinland Saga. The second season is pretty light on the violence, but it is for a good reason, I assure you. Obviously, very major, heavy spoilers for the entire story of Vinland Saga up till season 2. So if you are not caught up, yeah, go get caught up. Do it right now. Oh yeah, also we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could leave a like and subscribe, I would appreciate it. And I'll just give you a big old kiss in your forehead. The use of violence in the story of Vinland Saga is a very well done decision by the author, as it is stereotypically cool to watch these big epic fight scenes play out, and believe me, there are a lot of them, and the animators always bring it home with the action. But a lot of the time, you would actually rather see alternative resolutions come about in these conflicts. Season 1 of Vinland Saga is where we follow Thorfinn throughout his preteen years through his young adult years, and it is explicitly clear that he has no business being around these absolute monsters that he surrounds himself with, Askeladd included. While yes, Askeladd is a character that most people love and find him to be a joy on screen because he's obviously so charismatic, he is not a good person by any means. Nobody in the show is, honestly, but that's kind of the whole point. The culture of Vikings being seen as these epic warriors at the beginning of the series, and then coming to the realization that, oh my god, these dudes are some savages, is something that is hammered home over and over and over and over again. Obviously, I love seeing Thorkel and seeing him handle everybody on screen, but when we look at how brutal he is, it gets disheartening pretty quickly if you actually look at what he's doing. Snake makes a very good statement about Thorfinn, saying that not a single good thing has happened to him in his life, as well as saying what kind of monsters has he been around. Thorfinn was robbed of his childhood, and Gardner on his deathbed, believing that his son was still alive, says that while he believes his son as a young man will want to grow up and go adventuring, he refuses, as he does not want his son to see the same things he has seen and actually enjoy a life of peace. Thorfinn being this brooding, dark, rageful being in the first season is because he didn't grow up normally and he was surrounded by these monsters. He is literally around the man who killed his father 24/7, and he loses duel after duel after duel with him, so why would he not be this extremely dark character? Also, for the point that these grown men are losing battles to Thorfinn, who is a literal child, it's an anime, bro. Suspend the disbelief for like 2 seconds. As well as another point of Thorfinn having multiple chances to kill Askeladd, it is made explicitly clear as well that honor is something that the particular culture of the Vikings take very seriously, even though some characters use that a bit more leniently, Askeladd included. In season 2, we see that Thorfinn's entire purpose in life has been ripped away from him, and he is left this empty husk that is passively wandering around. Now, it's implied that he might have been passively suicidal as well, but until his encounter with Snake, that very sentiment is disproven, so that kind of just falls through. His entire relationship with Einar also helps fix this issue that he's dealing with, so yeah. Now, I'm not going to get super deep into this topic because honestly it's surrounded by a cesspool of garbage, but especially nowadays we're seeing more and more of these sigma male, alpha male types on the internet spreading incredibly hateful and harmful rhetoric towards young men. We can see this being showed to actually be critiqued in Vinland as well, with these battle-hungry savages yearning to die a warrior's death and treating women like resources. These are all parallels we can kind of start to make here. And honestly, going off of my script for a second, I loved the interpretation of Valhalla that the author threw our way. I had never thought that looking down and seeing these people just kill each other, these demons just brutalizing each other, and just seeing them just act horrifically. If you think about what an afterlife would be, especially for Valhalla, that's not something that typically would be thought of. I thought that was extremely creative. So obviously, yeah, props to the manga author for coming up with that, man. I really enjoyed that scene. Obviously, you have traditionally, when people think of Valhalla, they think of, you know, all this glory and seeing all these Norse gods and blah, 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 but then you just go go down here. It's some of the most depraved shit you could imagine. And honestly, this is where Vinland really takes it home for me. Thorfinn has done many terrible things in his life, and by no means is he an angel, but he is hell-bent on becoming a better person, and that is something that means true strength for him. I want to be a stronger person, a kinder person. These words are very, very heavy, and they have very heavy implications for really anyone. Especially as men, there's this idea that is continually being perpetuated, especially now that men are cold, emotionless, and aggressive. Men cannot be emotional and must always be willing to fight, but fight for what? When I use the term positive masculinity, Thorfinn is a prime example of this. Thorfinn choosing to become a pacifist was actually a flaw in his character at the moment when he swore off violence, because very quickly he understood that there are things you need to protect and are worth fighting for. By using violence as a last resort is what makes a person strong, not using violence first. It is very easy to jump to violence and use that primal aggression that resides in the lizard part of your brain, but attempting to administer kindness into the situation, to try and understand why someone is acting a certain way, and attempt to seek a resolution without immediately resorting to using your fists or firearms, that is true strength. As Ben from Barnyard said,
"A strong man stands up for himself. A stronger man stands up for others."
Wow, what a timeline we live in where I reference Barnyard and Vinland Saga in the same video. Good lord. And also, granted, I'm not saying that it's okay to be a pushover and smile through every negative interaction that comes your way, because you need to have some mental fortitude, but understanding that kindness does not equate to weakness is one of the huge messages that Vinland Saga is trying to preach. And honestly, I think it does a phenomenal job. Forgiveness is also a huge thing in the story of Vinland Saga, man. People are kind of memeing to death the "I have no enemies" quote from Vinland, but honestly, man, that quote is extremely heavy as well, and it's been something I've actually been trying to use in my life as well, which does sound very corny, I will admit, but honestly, man, that's what media is for you to consume and grant your own, lessons from it. So yeah, understanding that you don't need to have enemies. You don't need to have these people that weigh you down, and understanding that if you tried, but you're gonna do the best that you can from your ability, and that's all that matters. Hatred has no place in anyone's heart, and that also is something that I'm trying to reduce using my word of. But yeah, man, just let me know what you guys think, man. How do you guys feel about Vinland Saga? How do you feel about the author's messages that he's trying to relate? But yeah, it's me, your boy Daffy, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. All right, peace.